Linda Gray. After 5 years as the long-suffering Sue Ellen on the hit series Dallas, she's taking time away from South Fork to complete a new TV movie, not in front of the children. Jules Pfeiffer. He's been a playwright and a screenwriter, but he's most successful when he aims his pointed drawing pen at the powers that be. Real People's Bill Rafferty. And Char the Psychic will give us insight into our future. These are Mike's guests along with the entertainment news from Sandy Kenyon, and it's all coming up. From Hollywood, it's Mike Douglas, People Now. Now, here's Mike.
Well, since its television premiere in 1977, Dallas has carved a permanent niche for itself at the top of the Nielsen charts. As a result, the Ewing family has become a household name, and our first guest plays JR's ex-wife. But rumor has it that they might tie that knot again.
You think I'm going to tell you?
Here's Sue Ellen Ewing. Here is Linda Gray, the beautiful Linda.
Hello,
you get
Mike.
better looking. This is all agreeing with you, isn't it?
Well, I've always thought that it was a state of mind anyway. You know, you can look however you want to look.
You did have some problems, as a lot of us do in this business in the early days, though. I mean, you sat with people and discussed those problems. I think they call them shrinks. You
Sure.
went through that period in your life, didn't you?
Oh, sure.
What was the big problem with you? Trying to,
It was me, I think.
trying to do your thing and be a housewife and a mother and all that at the
Yeah,
same
it
time?
kind of all, everything kind of, came upon my head at one time. And I just wanted to do the best that I could do with my life, and didn't want everything to fall apart in the interim, so I just went and found out how to do it.
Your upbringing was very much like mine, and I know that, I don't know, for some reason we tend to marry very young with that upbringing.
Well, I think it was
you did, I know.
the
You met-
accepted, that was the norm. You got married and
Yeah.
had 2.2 children and lived happily ever after.
Did you ever see
that was it.
.2 child?
Yeah.
Little tiny fellow doesn't say much. You got great support from your husband, though, didn't you?
Well, I did because, well, in the beginning he was a little frightened of, me whisking off, mother of 2 children, to become an actress. It was kind of frightening. And it was okay when I was doing commercials, because I would go to work and
Yeah.
residuals would come in, and I'd just go to the mailbox and make a, terrific living. So when he found out I wanted to be an actress, he wasn't really knocked out about it, but because he's so creative, he knew that creative personality needs an outlet. And since he's an art director and very creative himself, he knew the frustrations. If it doesn't come out, what do you do with it? You either go cuckoo or
I love
do what I did.
all the things I read about you. I read one thing I could identify with you. I think it was your parents, when you said, I want to be an actress, thought that was one step lower than a hooker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when my dad said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to sing. He went, you're going to what?
Yeah.
He couldn't believe that. I mean, just...
Well, at that time, it wasn't acceptable. And, it was, that wasn't the thing to do. You were a nurse or, you were something acceptable, but not an actress. That wasn't their little girl.
It's improved. The image has improved over the years. It used to be that actors and people in our business would go to little towns and check into hotels, and they wanted the money up front, really, seriously, because they thought we were shifty and to be going to
Take your money
another town,
never
another state. But it has improved over the years, hasn't it?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. So is your role. Sue Ellen has
Oh,
grown.
I love my role.
Yeah. Yeah, I should say. You had a lot to do with that, didn't you, Linda? Personally.
Well, I don't know. I guess I'm a little reluctant to say I did, but I did. I might as well take credit for it. When I first was offered the role, I had literally 4 lines, and my agent said, "Why do you want this part? This man is horrible. This family's weird, and why would you ever want to be a part of that family?" And,
was he wrong?
Yeah. No longer my agent either. So I accepted the role, and then sort of went about creating Sue Ellen.
Your mail must be fascinating, because there are a lot of people. She had a drinking problem, Sue Ellen did. A lot of ladies that can identify with that out there.
Oh, very much so.
The ones that shoved into the background, and
well, I think
successful husband, successful household,
Sure.
but really no identity of her own.
Exactly, and they don't know, sort of what to do
So
with
they
it.
turn to that. Did you ever do that in real life? turn to the sauce?
No.
At any point?
No, people like to, in the very beginning of the career, people liked, because they couldn't understand, a lot of people like to be, you know, who they are on television, and so people get very used to that. And so when I was, took over the role of Sue Ellen, people would say, oh, well, you drink in real life and you do all that, because it was more comfortable for them to, you know, to put me in that role.
But isn't Sue Ellen capable of making it on her own without that despicable character?
Well, I think that's the magic of the Dallas, you know. I mean, people love to tune in and see,
most loved,
you know,
the
that
most hated.
love-hate relationship between...
Sure.
I think that they look at their own relationships and they say, well, you know, that's really what I want to tell my husband. And the husband says, well, I wish I could treat her like that, or I wish I could do those evil things in business. So I think that when Larry and I get on screen, they kind of, you know, live those secret fantasies that really aren't quite acceptable by society, but everybody has them inside a little.
But can you understand the acceptance of Dallas in other parts of the world? I mean, naturally it's #1 here and it's huge here. But in England and African places like that, you can shoot a bomb off in the middle of the street. There's nobody there. They're all home watching Dallas.
Yeah, it was very interesting, because during our hiatus this past year, Richard Grant and I went over to London and Germany, and you know, I really got to see it with my own eyes, what you know, what we had created over there.
Crazy when they see you.
It was fabulous for me. I literally was like a little kid in Disneyland. You know, I said, my God,
how did the fans behave? They behave differently than here in America. They don't tend to want to touch you or talk to you. They just want to kind of stand up and stare at you, don't they? They're not as apt to walk up to you as an American fan would be. Or am I wrong?
Well, it's different. Each country is different. They have their own way of approaching you. But they all sort of want to participate and get to be close. I think that's the word.
But you're virtually everywhere in the world now. You can't hide any place, can you?
No. And I love it.
You love it?
I mean, I never thought this would happen, and as long as it's happening, I love it. I mean, I love to be with people, and you know, I'm really the one that would love to observe people. I mean, I would love to be invisible and go to Disneyland and, you know, hang out in my jammies and...
Can't you do that ever? Can't you ever put on the disguise and go with the kids and...
Yeah, I think so. But now, see, people watch me all the time, and that's very strange for me, because as an actress, you know, you get mannerisms from other people for your different roles, and now people watch me, and that's kind of strange.
How about the realization of when a Linda Gray changes her hairstyle? I mean, the whole world goes... Millions of people go, what has she done?
Well, I think change is different, and a lot of people find change very difficult. And I accept change, and I love it. I just kind of look forward to change and what it's going to do to me. It changes my personality, you know, the way I wear clothes and wear bigger earrings now. I love it. I'm having the best time with it.
Your children now, they're getting older, and what is their reaction to your acceptance and your success, as opposed to when they were tiny, when they didn't realize really what was going on?
Well, you know, they found it a little difficult with the phenomenon going on. You know, the teachers would try to bribe them, you know, with finding out who shot J.R.
Oh, my.
That's not what I wanted at all.
Oh, I don't believe that.
Yeah, and it got to be a little bit much for them. And my son's now in college, so he's out of that environment now, so he gets kind of lost. He's at UCLA. And my daughter changed schools because it really got to be too much.
Schools because it got to be too much.
Yeah, that
you know, I've never seen anything done so beautifully as that whole sequence. You people shot how many different endings of how many people were actually shooting JR? What were there, 3?
Well, we shot everybody with a gun,
JR.
which was hysterical, and
so that nobody would know.
So the crew
and
wouldn't
no one did know.
No.
Except, didn't it air somewhere overseas before it aired here, and people were making overseas phone calls saying,
yes, it
you know who shot him? That happened, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. We were at Chasen's having dinner at this big party, and everybody knew, and it was fabulous. I mean, it was great to be a part of history.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I had a great time. I loved it.
We're going to continue with Linda Gray right after these messages. Coming right back.